People tell me I'm apathetic. People tell me I lack social conscience. I paid my dues. I went to college. I lived the alternative. I threw things at cops. I got involved. And I can still run my jibs with the best lefty, anarchist, socialist, revolutionary jargon, doctrine, slogan, rebop ad nauseum. I'm apathetic. I'm pro-choice. I'm anti-vivisection. I listen to public radio. KPFK. I vote. I even voted for Fritz Mondale. Michael Dukakis? Marianne Williamson? Some of my best friends. I'm apathetic. I read the papers, New York Times, LA Weekly, Vanity Fair. I lack social conscience. I was wounded and received a Purple Heart in the sexual revolution. I was taken prisoner in the war on drugs. And committed myself to a long, slow suicide in protest against my inability to make a difference in a land where even my most subversive thoughts and deeds are allowed, not because it is a democracy, but because we have been fed and led to believe that the fix is in, it doesn't make a difference, and nobody gives a shit anyway. But just the other day, someone told me about a writer who was having trouble with the local authorities somewhere, and did I want to get involved? And I didn't know what that could possibly have to do with my new car, my condo, or my investments, or my miniseries, or my personal trainer, my dermatologist, my iridologist, my homeopath, my spiritual advisor, my colonic hydrotherapist, my relationship. Anyway, I'm apathetic. I lack social conscience. I think I've just learned the value of my leisure time and the benefits of a nice afternoon nap. Thank you. All right. Don't tell me that ain't no woman. Ghoulish I sat in the piss-hole watershed for wannabes and 1,000 dilettantes' dead memories where the good aren't too serious and the serious not so good. Don't tell me that ain't no woman. My test pattern eyes oozed over the tuck and roll of the steakhouse seats, a low point in my life. I was a lowlife at this point with no blood surge to speak of in months. Like hepatitis on a dying eyeball, she moved me with her hair so black and her arms so blue. My deepest, darkest dream come true. I could not deny her. Don't tell me that ain't no woman. Her accessories were perfect and her entertainment value obvious, so I gave her the secret sign. I was too disruptive, she said. Try the minors. She was like a heart bone, like a dream bone. She choked me, a natural beauty, wine spun and pure. My sugar puss, my poodle chop, My little vicious circle. She was a bad, bad Betty. She wasn't pulling no trailer, just that world-weary Chesterfield voice box, smoky like a little boy's abdomen. We began to grind belt buckles as the Doradin and codeine combo of her kisses cried inside my mouth, and she kissed me and said, "There's something I should tell you." "Well, don't tell me you ain't no woman," I said. "Okay," she said. "I won't." Lend me not an antidote, but something to sustain me. I'm not a pill, a potion, or bromide, but an answer less temporal to fend the pained and jagged horror of my shame, my crime of having enjoyed my life too much. Stayed awake when others slept deep asleep while the working world's awake, loved greatly, vastly, yet not well enough to cease to squeeze every last drop of joy, till numb and criminal called I stand, but not alone, against the roaring stream, with arms flung wide, mouth open, and head thrown back in benediction to this very second of wonder, of flight, of terror, of greed, to feed on this gift, to preach this opportune display, to share with all some other way, to take this ride, to jump on its back and break it, to crash and learn what's here to come, to live, to die like me, crazy, guilty as charged. Thank you. All right, I'm going to do one more. This is called Vive la différence. I dream of a world with no gender, without the wretched ebb and flow of pain and pleasure, the pushing, the pulling, the constant yearning, the agony that can only be brought on by a member of the opposite sex. I dream of a world with no gender, where the regeneration of the species comes through spontaneous combustion, and there's an end to the endless questions like, should I get my career together and then get a relationship, or get a relationship together and to support my career, or get a life that supports my relationship, or maybe I should just make my relationship my life. I dream of a world with no gender, where the growth of my heart and the growth of my soul is not measured by the health of the woman I'm with, where I don't have to work with your issues, and you don't find it necessary to tell me about your secret life. Please don't tell me about your secret life. Don't tell me about the guys you fuck or the pills you take, your psych diagnosis, your stint in the institution, your stint on the street, what your daddy did to you, the virus you got that lays waste our dreams of having children. Don't tell me about the laxatives you take, or the chunks you puke, or what goes on in your head when you're in bed with me, the endless differences between me and him, the long list of abortive and abortion-strewn relationships. No, don't tell me about your secret life. I got my own. And in my secret life, I dream of a world with no gender.